Hello, welcome back to Father and Son React to Death Battle. This time we have Martian Manhunter versus Silver Surfer, DC versus Marvel. Another DC versus Marvel, but it's two characters we like.
Yes, both of them, and I have a little bit of background with each one.
Yes,
more so this time that with Silver Surfer probably than Martian Manhunter, but both of them got a little bit
of
history on John Jones and
John Jones. I like him into the Justice League cartoon a lot.
Norrin Rad, right?
Norrin Rad,
yes.
The Silver Surfer.
And I know that I don't know who created Martian Manhunter, but Jack Kirby, sole creator
of Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer. No nasty add-on or
asterisk. Or,
yes,
yeah,
that was his.
That was his.
And,
these are two characters who were kind of on the high level for both cosmologies. Martian Manhunter frequently described as on par with or stronger than Superman. Silver Surfer, basically the strongest character who isn't Galactus.
Yeah,
you know,
and I think also when we get into that and we start going through halfway through. Just speed alone.
Yes, speed's fast thing.
Is he can go. I mean, he can travel much faster than the speed of light. I don't think Martian Manhunter
there was
goes
a
that
speedster,
fast.
Like I would say Silver Surfer has a pick for like the fastest character in Marvel. Has it pretty locked.
Yeah, it's got to be up there, but
like it's not Quicksilver. Like it's not even close with Quicksilver.
But no, because he goes from galaxy to galaxy, and
so
we'll see how that factors.
We'll see how it factors
before we.
I like both of them and would be happy for either of them to win. But DC's been winning a lot lately, and I'd kind of like DC to lose.
Well, and I like the idea that Jack Kirby sat in an office in New York and was, "What's big on kids today?"
Surfing.
Let's make a character
who
surfs. Let's make him an alien and put him on a surfboard.
Yes. All right.
This episode of Death Battle is
I think that was a weird version of Jack Kirby.
Yeah. That sounded more like Stan. Your voice just that.
Martian Manhunter, DC's Space Ranger. The Silver Surfer, Marvel's Sentinel of the Spaceways. The depths of space hold secrets beyond our comprehension, but these sage superheroes have seen more of it than any of us could ever hope to. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. For as long as mankind has looked upon the night sky, the stars have beckoned the brave to search the unknown and explore its endless wonders. Like Dr. Saul Erdell, who's kind of a doctor in the same way Dr. Pepper is a doctor. This guy's got no formal education, but that didn't stop him from messing around with some ancient tech he stumbled upon. He was desperate to live out his boyhood dreams of exploring the cosmos. So with the tech's advanced capabilities, Erdell created a machine that would bring the cosmos to him. He pointed the machine at Mars, pushed a button, and hoped for the best. And it worked! Erdell summoned a real-life Martian right before his very eyes. So remember, kids, when in doubt, just push buttons. Never fails. The mysterious and powerful alien known as John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, immediately started using his incredible powers in front of the Doctor, like mind-reading and shape-shifting. Which was just the tip of Erdell's discoveries. Turns out, Martians have complete control over their bodies and can transform into practically anything.
In a fight, I don't know how that... I mean,
Martian
it's awesome, capable.
To her central nervous system, or even a totally generic green monster that loves choco cookies. They can also shoot lasers from their eyes, fire psionic blasts, turn invisible, and phase through anything. Even Green Lantern constructs and force fields that Superman couldn't get through. On top of all that, they've got a crazy healing factor. John has regenerated back from a single limb, tiny pieces, or even a puddle of goo. This display of awe-inspiring power overwhelmed Dr. Erdell's poor human heart and caused him to die in the Martian's arms. Damn! Well, at least he accomplished his goal before he bit the red dust, right?
Anyway, John used his shape-shifting abilities to hide amongst his new world by assuming the identity of a recently deceased detective named John Jones. God, what a crazy coincidence, comic book writer, you clever man.
Detective John Jones lived a double life on Earth for many years, solving cases and helping as many people as he could from the shadows. But eventually, he stepped out, revealing himself to the world, and helped found the Justice League of America.
And John definitely holds his own in the supergroup. He once pulled the Earth alongside Wonder Woman and Superman, who has stated that of all the beings in the known universe, he would be afraid to fight John.
And he should be afraid. Superman wouldn't be the first Kryptonian John has gone toe-to-toe with. He's manhandled Ultraman, who's basically evil Superman from another universe, and Superboy Prime, who can shatter reality with his punches, and is also evil Superman from another universe.
He took a blast at Asphodel, the king angel from a literal army of heaven. He's held his own against Darkseid, the manifestation of tyranny in the DC universe. And he's fast enough to catch up to Supergirl and Superman, who we know flies so fast he can burst the bonds of infinity. So basically, he's just as strong and just as fast as a bunch of crazy gods and demons.
While Jean's strength and speed are obviously very impressive, it's also no secret that his greatest asset is his mind. He's one of the most powerful telepaths in all of the DC universe.
He reads minds, duh, but he can also shut them down altogether. And he once made Mr. Plexiglass,
Plexiglass?
Pickles,
Nice.
fuck your name, that's whatever. Anyway, he got him to subconsciously say his own name backwards, which God only knows because I can't say it forwards, which canceled out his powers.
His psychic defense is strong enough to protect the Justice League against a worldwide telepathic attack, and his ability to sense people's feelings is so strong, he can feel every sentient being in the entire galaxy.
And he once out-thought Perpetua
right.
from the Omniverse. Who's that, you ask? Oh, just the frickin' creator of the entire multiverse. She's basically the god of everything.
Jean needed to connect his
Cool.
consciousness with everyone
Of
on
course.
Earth before
Yeah.
Perpetua could catch up. He pulled this off by using his mental abilities within the span of Planck time, literally the smallest possible measurement of
There
time.
is a bit of a
By the time it
criticism
takes
that
you
Death
to
Battle
count
is
to
experiencing
one,
some power
Jean
creep.
could count to
Yeah.
one.
Like,
The universe and back over 200 times.
He out-thought God. He's a faster thinker than God. And it didn't end there. John took a punch from her and walked away with just a bloody nose. And when she disintegrated him into basically nothing, he regenerated back from a hit from God.
Batman has said that in order to kill Jean
Alright,
for good,
yeah.
you would have to
Information that would have been
literally
nice to know
destroy
before we
every
started
single
this.
atom in his body.
hey,
That's
Silver
why we do
Surfer
it.
should be on the same level
Yeah, if I
for
had
Marvel,
alliteration
right?
so much, I'd say we change this guy's name to Martian God Hunter or something. He's basically invincible, right?
Not quite. Jean is not without weakness. He has a very real vulnerability to fire.
Yeah,
At
that's
times,
true.
it has completely overwhelmed him to the point where he loses control of his body.
And not just literal fire either. John was once tricked into just thinking he was surrounded by fire, and that was enough for him.
Even still, Jean has been
Is that
able to
Grodd?
overcome this weakness. He's fought enemies with fire abilities and even taken hits from fire attacks, which leads me to believe the weakness, while potent and still able to cause real physical harm, is mainly psychosomatic. What are you doing?
I heard what you said. Weakness to fire is just in your head. I'll be a living god! Another win in the mind column for sure. And to think there's a whole planet of these guys out there.
Unfortunately, that's no longer the
no.
case. Before Dr. Erdel's strange experiment, Jean's own brother used the Martians' telepathic connection to each other against them, and the entire planet was plagued with Ronmir's curse.
As long as they stayed telepathically connected, every Martian was vulnerable to a mental fire that would overwhelm them and burn them from the inside out.
Which sadly worked very well, because the fear of fire is something Jean shares with his fellow Martians. Centuries earlier, the Guardians of the Universe, a group of immortal aliens who run the Green Lantern Corps, feared that the Martian race could become too strong. So they programmed the Martians with that genetic weakness to fire.
John was able to survive the fiery curse by cutting off his mental connection to his people, including his family. Unfortunately, his wife, Myria, and their daughter couldn't live with the isolation, and he had no choice but to watch them give in and burn alive. Damn.
Racked with grief and survivor's guilt, Jean was left to wander his homeworld all alone. His only solace being shape-shifting into his lost loved ones to convince himself they were still alive.
Oh my god! Jesus, John! That is so sad.
That pain has undoubtedly shaped
You might want to talk to
is.
somebody
In fact,
about that.
The trauma he held onto so tightly formed a literal spiritual connection with those lost souls. A telepathic connection so strong, it kept them from finding peace in an afterlife. Let me say that again. His grief and telepathy were so strong, he prevented an entire race of people from moving on to the afterlife.
It wasn't until years later that John could return to Mars and release those souls by finally letting go. And not to forget them, but to embrace his new life and his new home. A place he would defend time and time again to make sure the Earth never suffers a fate similar to Mars.
To experience all of that, to truly know what it feels like to be alone in the vast universe, but continue to use your wisdom and power to help those in need, is what makes the Martian Manhunter such a noble hero.
On a planet packed with other incredible heroes, John really has set himself apart. He's risen through the ashes and emerged, the heart and soul of the Justice League.
Yeah, Martian Manhunter's
This
cool.
episode of
I
Death
agree.
Battle
You
is
know?
sponsored by One Piece on Netflix.
Yes.
Made by fans for fans, this live-action adaptation of the beloved manga is designed to introduce new audiences to the zany pirate epic.
Lindsay
And
wants to
where
watch
else would
this.
it
The boys
start
want to
but
watch
the
this with
East
me.
Blue, a world populated by
Up to you
pirates
if
with
you want to
super
watch
Are
this.
you and your brother
powers
gonna do
gifted
this
by
on a
mysterious
Wednesday?
devil fruits, where
No, I don't
telephones
think
are
so.
snails.
And a treasure hidden by the late Goldie Roger kicks off an era of epic adventure.
This action-packed series
Ha!
follows the Straw Hat Pirates, a crew of true Nakama determined to find the legendary One Piece and live free on the high seas.
All the while being chased by the honorable Marines, protecting the waterways from those
I
dastardly
wouldn't say
pirates.
so.
In an ocean of grim and gritty adaptations, One Piece is an adventurous, warm-hearted, binge-worthy island.
Series mangaka Eiichiro Oda was involved at every step of the process, which has never been done before in any other live-action manga adaptation.
Pirates life for me! Marines stink!
Watch One Piece August 31st, only on Netflix.
I hope it's good, man.
Yeah.
Zen Law.
It can be on the
a
list.
virtual utopia, free from any and all crime, poverty, and disease.
And home to Norin Red, which
Yeah,
I gotta
baby.
say is the sickest, most radical name I have ever heard in my entire
Yes.
life. He was a brainy kid who was raised to live a life of reason and intellect over one of gnarly adventure.
That is, until the technologically advanced society came under threat from the devourer of worlds, Galactus.
So Norin struck up a deal with the World Muncher. In exchange for sparing his planet, Mr. Red offered to leave his home behind, become Galactus's herald, and seek out new planets for him to scarf down.
And once Galactus agreed to the deal, he imbued his new herald with the power cosmic, transforming him into the Silver Surfer.
An equally tubular name. 2 for 2. Wow, you rarely see it.
The power cosmic grants the Surfer near unlimited energy, as well as matter manipulation, phasing, super strength, speed, and invulnerability, just to name a few.
The Surfers basically got all of Galactus' space magic, just on a smaller scale. And Galactus uses that power to fight guys like the In-Betweener, an abstract being from the overspace.
The Surfer used the power cosmic to serve Galactus diligently for nearly 100 years, during which he ensured that the planets consumed were devoid of sentient life.
That is, until the Surfer accidentally offered up a planet with life, which drove him crazy with guilt. So Galactus tried his best to suppress the Surfer's emotions, erase the painful memories, and make it easier for him to find planets with tasty, delicious life, guilt-free. How nice of him.
And it worked for a while until the Surfer reached Earth. Galactus's mighty mind manipulation wasn't enough to bury the Surfer's true nature for good. With the help of Alicia Masters and the Fantastic Four, the Surfer turned against his overlord and saved the Earth from being eaten.
But even after all that, Galactus just let the Surfer keep his powers. At any point, he could have just taken them back.
Being the source of the Surfer's powers, yes, he could. But Galactus has continued to let the Surfer have the power cosmic out of respect for his first herald.
Damn. See, that's the kind of respect I'm asking from you. Anyway, ever since those mental gymnastics with Galactus, the Surfer made sure nothing like that would ever happen again.
And he's been successful, like when Psycho Man failed to trick the Surfer with his illusions, or when he was briefly trapped in the Supreme Intelligence's mind when it was using the Mind Stone.
With some of those mental threats behind him, he could finally take to the spaceways, kick ass, and monologue about the meaning of life in the universe.
All of which he's quite good at, especially that last one. It's thanks to all that cosmic energy.
It's seriously crazy. He can rearrange the molecules of anything he wants into anything he wants. He can force you to just feel pain in general, and he can even control elements. Not just earth, wind, and fire, but anything in a boogie wonderland like gravity and the weather.
He's got enough power and energy inside him that he once created an infant star to serve as a new light source in a universe devoid of light.
So just when he needed it, he was able to pop out a baby son? That's convenient.
That's the power cosmic.
You can't forget about the sick board he shreds the stars with. This thing's basically an extension of himself. He can transform it into a sweet sword or into pure cosmic energy. And if it breaks, he can just form a new one.
On his board, the Surfer has traveled at incalculable speeds on multiple occasions.
Uncalculable.
He can fly faster
But
than
Superman
Ford,
did that as
and
well.
once flew so fast, he reached the future.
Even without his board, he once broke free from energy shackles that would zap away his power within the next nanosecond. Gnarly, brah. He once outsurfed a wave of universal destruction. He had to surf out of all of existence as it was being torn apart. Now, I've seen some choice waves in my day, but if you ask me, that's one too best for watching on the beach with a brew.
You're, hitting it real hard with all this surfing lingo. He's honestly not that kind of guy at all.
Righteously disagree with you, dude. You are carving up my brainwaves into an A-frame swell that I just can't bail. I'm waxed, man, waxed.
The Silver Surfer is a tragic figure who is always weighing his choices through every angle of morality. Like when he set out to destroy the new host of the Star Brand, an energy source that grants his wielders virtually infinite power, capable of wiping out all life on Earth.
The Star Brand seems to choose a new unknowing host at random. Could be a good guy, could be the most evil person to ever exist. But despite that threat, the Surfer spared the new Star Brand once he found out she was carrying a child.
He decided to bear the weight of any potential consequences on his own shoulders, instead of squashing any and all hope that the child would use that power for good.
I get it. He's a righteous dude on a surfboard.
Exactly. And in the Surfer's case, a keen sense of morality also comes with a keen sense of his surroundings in general. He can see enemies even when they're invisible, and can sense incoming threats, to the point where he can sense someone approaching even before they've left their own home.
He can also absorb energy his opponents throw at him. Anything from psionic energy to a freaking star. The Surfer can even do it when he's on death's door. Hey, Wiz, what do you think the doormat on death's door says? Probably like, knock 'em dead, right?
What are you talking? Now, it does take a lot to get the Surfer to death's door. He's taken a blast from the Infinity Stones, survived being smashed into pieces, crashed into the Big Bang, and played catch with the star.
He caught it and then threw it right back at that punk Deadpool. Ha! I hope you like a big ball of gas in your face, you tool!
Reed Richards, the smartest man alive, has said that the Surfer is probably the most powerful being in all the galaxy.
And even after years spent drifting through the galaxy, he's still built strong bonds, like with the Fantastic Four, the Defenders, and with people like Dawn Greenwood.
But somehow, he always ends up alone in space, searching for answers, searching for beings that need his help, searching for something that could replace the home that he lost all those years ago.
Only to be weighed down by the guilt of his servitude and the pain of his sacrifice, which was ultimately done in vain, cause it doesn't seem to matter what the Surfer does. Zenn-La is destined for destruction. At this point, his home world has been destroyed 4 times over.
Despite it all, this tragic hero still manages to take everything in stride as he serves the stars and fights tirelessly to preserve every being's right to live.
So I think there's definitely an argument that could be made, but given that the research they presented us, I am saying that they're going to say that Martian Manhunter wins.
I understand after listening to that first half, but a lot of the things that he can do,
I feel like they said, like, yeah, he's really, really strong, but Silver Surfer's really, really strong, but they cited more things for Manhunter. You know?
Yeah, but a lot of the things that they cited for Manhunter, they had already a cross with Silver Surfer. So
I just feel like, you know, we heard a plank second feet for Manhunter, we heard a nanosecond feet for Surfer.
Yeah.
Like, and yes, I'm sure you can find a plank second feet for Surfer, but I just feel like they want us to they are going to say Manhunter wins.
Like
I don't know whether or not that is.
I know we're talking about it, talking over it, but Shady Rays.
Shady Rays, you like classes?
Yes, there you go.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to stick with...
You're going to stick with Silver.
Silver Surfer, but I have a feeling that that's not going to be, because
I'm saying Manhunter. I wish Surfer won.
You know that, but it's going to be.
I like both of them.
He's going to get broken down to molecules, rebuild himself, and then win.
Manhunter or Surfer? Because both of them can do that.
Manhunter.
Yes. So you think Manhunter is winning, but you're staying with Surfer.
I'm staying with Surfer.
Yeah. Well, I'm staying with. I want Surfer to win, but I'm not. I'm a realist. Manhunter's going to take this.
In all of my journeys, I have never seen anything quite like this.
I assumed your journeys would have made you.
That's a great impression.
Places like this, Norin Rad.
Well,
or
that's Norin Rad's voice is.
Surfer. No.
It's Lawrence Fishburne did it in the movies.
Yeah.
Enough.
What are you hiding? Tell me your secrets.
I must end this. There's no use in hiding. I can feel your presence.
Oh, that's sick.
Ooh. The fire thing. You knew they was gonna have to
Of course, there had to be
advantage
some
to
fire
that.
stuff.
Nothing can best Martian might.
Your will is admirable, but will alone is not enough. Feel the pain.
This one's more character driven.
Possess the same knowledge.
That only one of us can survive, and we know not why.
I hope you can live with the uncertainty.
Victory comes with no certain satisfaction. I may never know why we were made to fight. If violence is ever truly justified, but perhaps there is something worthy in the battle.
Myria.
Something beyond my understanding.
That was not.
Wow.
What the hell are we doing? Why are we forcing such beautiful souls to fight to the death?
Both the Silver Surfer and the Martian Manhunter were two extraordinarily powerful beings, each with very wide power sets.
Damn it! I thought I would be right.
For almost everything, they can
I've been wrong almost all these episodes.
I've been right almost all these episodes, so.
Regenerate their own bodies.
But arguably the biggest thing on the Martian Manhunter's side was his formidable telepathy. The Surfer has had his memories erased and his emotions manipulated by Galactus. So it would stand to reason that Jean could pose a mental threat to the Surfer.
But the Surfer has resisted mental attacks many times. When Psycho Man played on the Surfer's guilt and pretended to be his lost love, the Surfer saw right through it, and he escaped the Supreme Intelligence's mind when it was using the frickin' Mind Stone.
These two could have gone toe-to-toe around the universe for a long time. But when it came down to it, the question was, who had the power to put the other down for good?
They both have some serious healing factors and have come back from basically nothing. But if ending Martian Manhunter meant destroying his every atom one by one, the Surfer has the means to make that happen thanks to the seemingly endless well of energy that is the power cosmic.
It's truly an overwhelming source of unlimited power. And outside of Galactus stripping the power away from him, the Surfer is
Which
never
he doesn't
without.
do.
It's like a battery. Even if Jean could drain all of the cosmic energy, the Surfer can just recharge it. And he's used that power to destroy planets, defeat Galactus.
I hope we get a good adaptation of Surfer in the MCU at some point.
With it.
While both of these
That'd be
philosophic
nice,
heroes
you know?
have to hold back out of a respect for life, there's obviously no holding back here. And the depth of Silver Surfer's abilities gave him the win.
This Martian was harsh in his mellow, so the Surfer had to wave goodbye. Bodacious caliber.
That was a more subdued fight, but I like the characterization a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I imagine it was really impressive and hard to animate, but it wasn't quite as like bombastic as some of the previous.
Stay tuned. We have a new death battle releasing every 2 weeks.
I know what this is, and I'm excited.
To get new perks and extra content. Planet level members even see death battles before anyone else, so don't miss out.
It's here, baby.
Yeah.
My vote.
Not nearly as much background knowledge on Cypher versus Discord.
Yes, you know Cypher, and you probably heard me talk about Discord. You probably heard me talk about Discord like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But it's Q. He's Q. He's Q. You know who Q is.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's Q. It's the same character. And that was a good one. I think that I'm gonna bet fans are gonna be a little more mixed on that one because it's so subdued.
Well, like I said, they laid so much out about John Jones at the beginning, and then it seemed like all they did was knock down all of the things that
Surfer seemed like they used smaller language on purpose.
Yeah, it seemed like
I guess I should think that like all of the guys he was fighting, like except for Deadpool, were all like the equivalent of Darkseid's.
Yeah,
in DC.
I
you know, like
so, I agree with it. That's just me.
I think that was what I thought.
I agree with it because it's.
I thought they were going to subvert me. I thought going in was Surfer takes this easily because Manhunter is really strong, but not generally considered to be on the highest level of DC cosmology, whereas Surfer is generally considered to be on the highest level of Marvel cosmology, and those cosmologies are about the same.
Okay.
All right. See you in 2 weeks for Bill Cypher vs. Discord. Thank you all for watching. Leave a comment.
One
leave a
last
like.
thing. Surf's up.
Surf's up.
I won again.